Hi guys, today let's talk about transportation costs here in Toronto, Canada. In this video, I will not be talking about driving a car, but mostly about public transportation. By the way, stick with me to the end because at the end of this video, I will be giving you some very good tips on how you can save on transportation costs here in Canada. Canada and Toronto is quite expensive, so if you can save up a bit on transportation, then why not? What I also wanted to do today is give you a bit of a comparison on how much I spent on transportation before we got into this special situation about 2 years plus ago when I just arrived in Canada versus now during this new normal. So when I just arrived here and everything was normal, I was going out quite a lot. I had a job and my husband was studying. He was studying in a postgraduate program. So both of us were going out almost on a daily basis. Because of that, each of us got what is called a monthly pass. With this card, you can ride on the TTC, which is the Toronto Transit Commission. The TTC is the transportation system that we have here in Toronto, and it consists of subways, streetcars, and buses. And I would say that the transportation system here is very well connected. It is quite good. Buses, streetcars, and subways run quite frequently, and you can do very, very well here without a car. So, how much does transportation cost if you are using public transportation or the TTC here in Toronto? There are two ways to go about it. The first way is that you can pay for single rides or single fares. That means that every time you take the bus, the streetcar, or the subway, then you tap your card and it will automatically deduct you a fixed fare. And I think at the moment that is $3.25 per ride. But to be sure, let's just go to the website and check that out. You can go to this website called ttc.ca and then go to fares and passes. So over here you can see that for an adult, if you pay in cash, one ride is $3.25. Whereas if you use Presto, the Presto card that I just showed you here, then you will only pay $3.20. And below here, you can see that the TTC monthly pass is $156. So at that time, about 1.5 to 2 years ago, because I was going out on a daily basis, it made more sense for me to get the monthly pass. It was simply cheaper to spend $156 upfront per month for unlimited number of rides rather than tapping each time I use the bus or a streetcar, because if you take 50 rides per month, then that would already be more expensive than simply just getting this monthly pass. I mostly use just public transportation simply because I think it is very reliable and it is very well connected here in Toronto, but I would still use the occasional Uber ride, and that is when I would go somewhere, I would eat out somewhere, and after that I was just tired and I didn't want to bother waiting for the streetcar, especially in the winter when it was very cold. And in those very rare cases, then yes, I would take an Uber, which would then cost me around anything between $15 to $25. So per month, if I calculate everything together, I would have my monthly pass, which is $156 plus my approximately $15 to $25 for an Uber. So in total, I spent around $175 on transportation. And because I live here with my husband, each of us spends around that amount. So $175 times 2 is $350 on transportation, which is not a small amount of money, but I am very sure that that is much cheaper than if you had a car, because if you have a car, you not only have to pay for the car itself, for the gas, but also for parking, for maintenance. So there are a lot of associated costs, and that is why I think in the beginning, when you just arrive in Canada and you're trying to just make ends meet, or even you're trying to save up a little bit over here, then it makes sense not to splurge too much on transportation transportation. By the way, in case you feel like you got value out of this video so far, then make sure that you hit the like button. And also, if so far you have any questions about the transportation system here in Toronto, Canada, then please do feel free to leave your questions down in the comments. Also, if you have any other questions surrounding living here, then also please feel free to drop your questions in the comments and I will try my best to respond to them. Now let's move on. How did my transportation expenses change once we got into this new normal situation? My transportation expenses decreased quite drastically, and the main reason for that, of course, you can imagine, is because firstly, we didn't go out as much to do grocery shopping or even to the mall, etc., because that simply wasn't possible. We also dined out less, but the main factor was because I started studying in a postgraduate certificate program, and that was fully 100% online, by the way, except for one class where I actually had to go to campus. But apart from that, everything was online, so I was mostly at home. And also I had a part-time job, which is, by the way, allowed if you are a student under certain conditions, and this job was also remote, so I did everything from home. And believe me, I spent so much time just sitting here on my butt in front of my screen. But anyways, the great side of that is that I saved a ton on transportation costs. I only spent around $30 per month using my Presto card. And no, I did not purchase the monthly pass because every week I would only go out once or twice. And in addition to those $30, I also spend around $15 to $25 on Uber. I would average it out to be maybe one ride per month. So it's approximately $30 using public transportation plus $20 taking an Uber ride, which makes $50. By the way, I've been talking so much about this little Presto card, and if you are curious about how to get this card, how to reload it, I will put up some links here for you to check out so you know exactly how to use it, how you can reload it, and so on. And now let's get to the tips that I promised you at the beginning of this video. I wanted to give you some tips on how you can save up even further on transportation when you're here in Toronto, Canada, or in fact anywhere here in Canada. Number one is, when you get this Presto card and you decide whether to get the monthly card or pay for single fare trips, give yourself a chance and analyze your usage pattern. See or calculate in advance how many trips you think you are likely to take every week, so you can compare which one is cheaper. Is it cheaper to get the monthly pass for $156 or simply pay for single trips? And here's my second tip. Presto allows you unlimited rides within a 2-window hour of tapping your card. So this is what it means. If you get on a subway and you tap your card, let's say at 2 p.m., until 4 p.m., you can make unlimited number of rides on streetcar, buses, or subways. But once you pass that 2-hour window, then you need to tap again and you will be charged with another fee. So how can you save on transportation costs? This means that you just have to plan a bit more and be more efficient. Let's say that today you want to go out and do some grocery shopping to some supermarket, and maybe it takes you 15 minutes to get there and 15 minutes to go back. So that's 30 minutes. So in that case, try to just spend 1 hour maximum at that grocery store, because in total you will stay within a 1.5 hour time frame. And that means that you won't need to tap your card again. You can do your whole grocery trip and return home with just one tap, with just $3.20. And although maybe it doesn't seem like a lot, but I think that after a while it does add up, it does accumulate. And here's my third tip. There are instances when you need to buy groceries that are more bulky items. Let's say toilet paper, or a big bag of rice, or potatoes, or maybe 10 cans of tomatoes or so, right? And if you go to the grocery store and buy everything yourself, you might be tempted to go home and take an Uber to transport everything. And depending on where you live, it can cost you $15, $20, or $25, right? So instead of doing that, I would highly recommend you to try to make use of one of those delivery services, grocery delivery services. And I'm gonna put a link up to one of my favorite grocery deliveries up here, which is Walmart online grocery deliveries. I think that this is a very efficient and cheap way to do shopping, because depending on which day you get your items delivered, you can spend as little as only $7.99 to get your grocery delivers, regardless of how many items you order, straight to your home, to your doorstep. And that not only saves you a lot of time, but it also saves you money, because if you were to go to the store yourself, you would already pay $3.20, and if you spend more than 2 hours there, then you need to pay another $3.20 to go back. Or if you take an Uber, it can cost you $20 or $25. So why go through that trouble and pay that extra cost? Why not just make use of the online delivery and pay only anything between $8 to $10 for delivery? I think that makes much more sense. So now you've got a rough idea about how much transportation is in Toronto, Canada. But if you're curious to know about what the living costs are here in Toronto, Canada, then be sure to check out one of my other videos, which I will link here in one of my end cards. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.